Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Adela Larramendi, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I serve as the director of the Hispanic Latinx Student Union. Just to mention a little bit of HLSU's mission is to strive towards encouraging and enabling the academic, professional, social success of the Hispanic Latinx students on campus. And in this event, we're going to be sharing one of the most popular Hispanic Latinx dishes in the world, empanadas. In this case, it will be baked chicken and cheese empanadas. With this first event of our summer wellness event series, Las que no iban a salir, we want to promote nutritional health from home and demonstrate how to keep a balanced and cultural diet even during quarantine. So Laura, if you want to take it on from there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Medina. I serve as assistant director. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And of course, this is just the first event of our wellness series. We're continuing with Boas Vibras, which is the 12th of August, and then Dímelo Danzando, which will be the 20th. So I hope to see y'all there as well there. We'll continue to present our board, and Eric, you can present yourself.
Hello guys, hope you can hear me all right. My name is Eric Tapia. I am serving as HLSU's treasurer for this year. My pronouns are he, him, his. Excited that all of you guys are here today and joining HLSU for this fantastic event. I think it's a great idea. And empanadas are they're one of the best foods for Latin culture. So glad you guys are all here and let's gear up.
Andrea, professional development, and Andre.
How you guys doing? My name is Andre. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am the outreach coordinator for this year, and I really hope you guys enjoy the event that we have all put here for you.
Programming board, you can take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carolina Vega Martinez. I go by Caro. I'm one of the programming coordinators for HLSU. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm really excited for y'all to enjoy this event that we have for you today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley. I'm one of the programming coordinators for HLSU. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I want to thank you guys so much for being here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carlos Garcia Lopez. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'll be the one cooking for demonstration today, as you can see. Yeah, I'm also a program coordinator for HLSU.
Hello, everyone. I'm Crystal Maria Nieves, and I go by the pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm also one of HLSU's programming coordinators. And I'm so happy that you guys are here today to see how this demonstration is going to go about.
So I will start by sharing my screen so we can start our presentation. Give me a second. Yeah. Let me know.
Okay, well, before we start off the demonstration, we're going to have a little mini icebreaker. And I just want to ask two brief questions. And so, have you guys ever eaten empanadas before? And if you have, then what types have you tasted? If you guys would like to respond, please make sure to raise your hand so we can let you guys talk.
¿Quién estaba hablando?
Is someone trying to talk right now? Well,
we have two messages, one person saying they haven't and another saying they do have cheese, chicken, and meat. Those are the types that Adriana has said she has tried.
Okay, So I see if you guys haven't, well, you guys are in luck. You guys are gonna learn a little bit about it today and see how it's made so you guys can try it at you guys' houses, okay? So now that we've talked a little bit about that, let's actually explain what empanada is. And well, it is classified as a stuffed bread or pastry that is baked or fried. And it is used and eaten in many Latin American countries in the south of Europe. And it is derived by the Latin verb empanar. And an empanada is basically done by folding of a dough or a bread patty around a stuffing that is made. And the stuffing can be consisting of various meats, vegetables, cheeses, or fruits. So there's a bunch to choose from. And I'm also gonna talk about a brief history of where empanadas originated from. And well, empanadas have originated from Galicia, Spain, and Portugal. And they first appeared during the medieval Iberia during the time of the Moorish invasions. And from there, soon thereafter, immigrants from Spain and Portugal came to countries such as Latin American countries, the Philippines, Indonesia, and that's how it was able to spread internationally.
Hello, everybody. So I guess today we're gonna be showing you how we make empanadas today. So as you can see right here, here's my ingredients. I'm gonna start off with the basics. Usually the basics for all empanadas is the flour itself, is the dough actually. So I decided to go with all-purpose flour. I know there's healthier alternatives. I know there's a multi-grain flour that can be used to make this. So that's first step number one. I have my 2 eggs. Typically when you make an empanadas, you need the 2 eggs for the dough. And last but not least, I have my salt and my sugar, and butter as well that we're gonna be using for empanadas. So when you first start off making empanadas, you gotta make the dough. All right, so here's the dough. So when we start off, you gotta start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, or like I said, you can also use the multi-grain flour. That's 1 cup. Alrighty, that's 2 cups. We're gonna do half a teaspoon of salt. So I don't know if you guys ever tried empanadas, but yeah, they're relatively easy to make. They can actually be made from any household items. I know all the ingredients I have right now were actually just laying around my house, which is really nice. I didn't have to go out to the store or get anything. So like I said, that's half a teaspoon of salt. We're also gonna do 2 teaspoons of white sugar. I personally don't like white sugar. I'm more of a fan of brown sugar. I know brown sugar is a little healthier from what I've read. So I'm going with 2 teaspoons of brown sugar for that. Maybe 1. Okay, 1 second. 2. All right. So when you make these, also you need to, typically I recommend any eggs really. It could be any choice eggs, honest. You really don't need any particular egg, because the reason why you don't really need any particular egg is because you'd be using the oak. You'd be using the oak. You need to specifically grab the yolk. Sorry, I'm having a little difficulties. Yolks can be a little messy to play with. And after that, this is where you get to the fun part. You're gonna need 4 cups of water. I'm sorry, I meant to correct myself. 4 teaspoons of water. So let me get my measuring cup, which should be this one. You just pour that in there. And after a while, you just start to mix it up, mix it up. Luckily, I was able to jumpstart. So you should mix it up, mix it up, mix it up until it becomes a little harder. Luckily, I was able to jump a head start and make the dough itself. So this is how the dough is supposed to look like. Once it gets to this shape, it recommends to leave it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes just to kind of cool down a little bit. And after it cools down, you put it down on any surfaces. I usually recommend laying a bit of dough so it doesn't stick down. So like this. If you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll gladly reply to them. All right, you just flatten that out. I didn't have a rolling pin, but hey. So I'm gonna be using a cup. All right. Got flatten them out. Typically, you can either make them a little flatter, so I don't know if you guys can see, but this is how it's supposed to look. It should be a little flatter, of course, but I like to make mine a little more doughy. So after you do that, you can get any round object. I'm just gonna use my cup as a demonstration. You press down on it. And you should get a round circle like this one, as you can see. So for the ingredients, so the first one we're gonna do is a cheese empanada. Cheese empanadas are relatively easy to make because it's just cheese. You can really use any cheese you want. I recommend the mozzarella fat-free because it's fat-free. Other than that, that's a really good cheese I recommend. You don't really have to go too extreme with it. I usually just add a little bit of that. And I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but when we cracked the eggs, we still had some yolks. We cracked the eggs, obviously. We used the yolks, but this is what remained from the egg. So for that, I get one of these little things. You roll it in here for a bit. You kind of go on the edge a little bit just so it sticks when you fold it. Like that. And you just flip it right over like that. For that, you just kind of use a fork. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see, my apologies. I did not know that was blocking the way. As you can see, you just use a fork to kind of make the edges on the empanada like that. All right, perfect. So that's one. So that's just how you make the cheese empanada. So I'm gonna demonstrate how you make the chicken one. The chicken one, which I personally like better more than the cheese one. This one takes a little longer time. First thing you need is a chicken breast. One's fine. You can choose whatever you want actually. So before you do that, you have to heat up the chicken. Make sure it's boiled, make sure it's good to eat. So after that, what you do is you start to shred the chicken. So it should look something like that, or a little skinnier than that. So after it looks like that, you put it in. Give me 1 second. Just put it to the side for a second. And to make the sauce, you could just use 2 regular red tomatoes. You could dump it in here. All right. 1 clove of garlic. Just 1. Dump it in there. And 2 cups of chicken broth. So chicken broth, you can either buy the chicken broth pre-made. I decided to make my own chicken broth just because when I was actually cooking the chicken breast, that's what I used to make the chicken broth. I decided just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Chicken broth is really easy to make. When you cook the chicken breast, I usually just throw in like half an onion. I cut the onion in half, throw it in there, put 3 teaspoons of salt, and I let that wait until the chicken cooks. And once the chicken cooks, whatever was left, the broth, I just use that. And you put that in here. All right. Just so it gets a little bit more flavor, I usually throw in a bit more salt. I usually throw in at least a teaspoon of salt because I don't like, just so it's not too bland. So that should be good enough. All right. After that, you just blend it. After you blend it, you cook it with the chicken. I usually recommend it to stir it, just let it sit down with the chicken for 30 minutes. Luckily, I was able to jump a head start and make my own already. So it should look something like that. All right, and just like the cheese empanada, we're gonna do the same thing where we just roll it into a ball. We put a little bit of dough. And we just start to roll it again. Let me get my lucky cup.
While he's finishing that, I did want to mention a fun fact about empanadas. And while the first time that empanadas was ever mentioned in a cookbook was in the 1500s, and it was actually in a cookbook published in the language of Catalan. And with that, empanadas was mentioned that they made it with seafood and with cheese and all sorts of other types of fillings. So it's really cool to see that because it introduced for the first time to the world in terms of writing that an empanada can be made universally.
All right, now back. So after that, you get a little bit of stuffing. You put it in here. I usually like to add a little bit of cheese, but you can go crazy with that. You roll it up again into the form like that. Actually, before that, I forgot I need to get the yolk. Like that. Just so the reason why you do that, it's for so it sticks. So when you put it in the oven, it sticks, and so this sticks together and it doesn't what do you call it? Kind of bloat up while it's in the oven cooking.
Quick question for you, Charlie.
Yes.
Are there any vegan substitutes or ways to make empanadas, or is it purely yolk chicken based or cheese based too?
So what I've heard, I know you can substitute. I know there's vegan butter. I know you can substitute some of the ingredients, like butter, for instance. You can substitute it for like a vegan option. As for egg, you could use. I've heard. I think it was like some kind of vinegar. I saw it online. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you could use that to really glue it together, or you can actually use other substances. You don't necessarily have to use yolk. I just use it just because I know it works, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
So,
you can use oil as a substitute for the egg yolk. Usually people tend to use olive oil, and then for the stuffing, it can be vegetable based. So a spinach, beans, and other variations like that.
That's correct. So yeah, once that's done, I usually start the oven at 400 degrees. I usually preheat it. Good thing I already had some already in the oven. At the end, let me just get mine. I don't want to burn myself. So these, it should look like that. You preheat the oven for 400 degrees. And after that, you let them sit in the oven for at least 20 minutes, no more than that. And they should come out looking like this. Let me cut it just to show you guys. Oh, it's hot. Wow. It's really hot. They should come out looking like this. So this is the cheese one. So yeah, that's how you make an empanada. If you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll explain to you guys a little bit more in depth on some of the stuff.
I have a comment to make, not really a question, just before anyone else does. Apart from having these empanadas baked, you have the option of doing air fry. I know air frying has become pretty popular these days, so you can always just use an air fryer as well, or just a mini toaster. Mm-hmm.
So also, since really an empanada is not, what really makes an empanada is, I usually say it's always what's inside. Really what's inside is what really makes it up. So the fun thing about these, you can really make them whatever your imagination creates. So you can make them, you can use beef, you can make them vegetarian, you can make them vegan. Down here in the slide, as you can see, we created a couple other versions, other ingredients for other versions that you can make at home. So yeah, that's the best part about empanadas. They're really, the combinations are endless. There's all kinds of variations you can make. You can even make desserts out of them. So it's one of the more easy dishes to make, as well as one of the more dishes you can have fun with. Alrighty, so any questions on any specific steps? If I might have gone too fast, yeah.
I believe someone did have a question, and it was Adriana, if I'm not mistaken. Someone may unmute her. No, no more?
You can raise your hand or send the question to Laura, and she can say it, and we all can answer it for you.
I would say you can carry on with your presentation, and if I get questions, I will let you know. But I did actually get a comment from one of the students saying, happy to see the new function of the FSU cup. I'm assuming that's when Charlie was using it as a rolling pin.
Yeah, I didn't have a rolling pin, but you know.
Hey, you used what you got, so it's great.
Okay, so in deciding this dish, we had a poll on our Instagram where we had 4 dishes to choose from. They were all different. So we didn't want y'all to miss out, and we wanted to introduce these dishes to you as well. Be on the lookout in the future. We might be introducing these dishes like we did with the empanada. So first up is gazpacho. Yes, so gazpacho is a traditional Spanish dish made out of tomatoes, other vegetables, and spices. The soup is usually served cold. You can use ripe tomatoes, cucumbers, Italian green peppers, cloves of garlic, apple cider vinegar, extra olive oil, bread, and sea salt. Honestly, I've had this before, and 10 out of 10 would recommend. So next up, we have, one second. If we could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so next we have chicken pinchos, which are also referred to as kebabs. So they're originally from Spain, but it's very popular in Puerto Rico, and they definitely perfected the dish. So you can include different proteins like chicken, steak, or if you don't want proteins at all, you can use vegetables, of course, and fruit. So this one is a chicken, obviously a chicken pizza, like it says in the title. You could use chopped chicken thighs, chopped bell peppers, red, green, orange, yellow. Make it as colorful as you want. There's onions, chopped onions, olive oil, lemon juice, adobo seasoning. You can also use other seasonings like parsley, garlic powder, etc., whichever one you really like. Honey barbecue, Puerto Rican or Cuban bread. There's other similar choices, whichever one you want would go fine with it. And butter. Again, I've had this before, 10 out of 10, would recommend. All right, so our next one and our final one. So they're grilled chile or pimientos rellenos, sorry. So these are a very popular Latin dish. So originally, there's not one specific place it comes from. If you look online, there's a variety of different ways that you can make it. There's a way to make it in Mexico, in Spain, in other countries in Latin America. So I've made these before, and I love them. They're very easy to make, and they're really good. So you can use a medium-sized bell pepper or poblanos. I'm Brazilian, y'all. You got to give me a little second with these pronunciations. Mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, whichever one you like, olive oil, ground turkey, chili powder, cumin, salt, cooked rice, black beans rinsed, large tomatoes, chopped into small slices, and tomato sauce. With the ground turkey, you can use that, but I've made them with ground beef, which are also very good. So it's really up to your discretion and what you like. If anybody has any questions about these dishes, feel free to ask. If you have any comments, I know that I'm hungry after looking at Charlie make this empanada and after looking at all these dishes.
So as we're wrapping everything up, we just want to share with you guys ways to get involved with the agency. So we have 4 different committees. First is our events committee, which works directly with programming board, and you can put on events just like this one. You can give us ideas. You can give us ways to improve. You can just join and be a part of the process. For our outreach and our homecoming committee, it mainly touches with homecoming and the homecoming parade, the homecoming banner. Obviously, things might change a little this year, but if you do want to get a chance to work on those aspects of HLSU, please join that committee. We have won awards for homecoming for our banners and our parade floats the past few years, so we're pretty good at that. Our third one is public relations, so you can work with our public relations coordinator, Emily, and you deal with flyers and different aspects of hubbing all of our events. And then our last one is professional development, which touches on our Leadership Institute and our mentorship program. So if you want to help create those educational opportunities and just create the content that is within those programs, please join that committee as well. And then this is our feedback survey. So we just want to know how we did, if there's anything we can improve. If we were to do this again, what can we change? Anything you want to say, even if you like the event, just please take that survey, scan that QR code. And then, yeah. Laura, Adela.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you so much for attending our event tonight. We hope you enjoyed the cookie demonstration by our amazing chef, Charlie. We hope we also answered all of your questions. Just in case you have any other questions pertaining any other topics, please feel free to email me or Laura Medina. Our emails are on the screen. And please remember to attend our other Las que no van a salir events, Boas Vibras next Wednesday the 12th, and Dímelo Danzando the 20th. We'll keep updated y'all on our social media.
Yes, and with that, I hope that y'all join us as well in the breakout rooms. We're going to be talking, discussing anything that we will want. If you have any other questions, you can ask them there. But it's a space for all to meet each other, know each other, and it will be great if y'all could stay. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much, HLSU. Fantastic job, and everyone should have received a Zoom meeting request.